can tell.
If he 12, right away.
Oh yeah, that's not the 12. I'll tell you, the police, watch out, man. They'll be coming quick, especially on this offensive line. Hopefully not so much this season.
Police, you're all under arrest.
Seattle Seahawks, what is going on? What's happening? I hope you guys are having a good day, of course. We're going to take a look at the Seattle Seahawks roster, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, 25. Dang, G-Sling, you're low on Seattle. What's going on out here? Do you think it's coaching? Is it Sam Darnold? Well, let's take a look, man. It is always tricky and trying to guess which teams are where and all those sort of things, which teams are going to rise, which teams are going to fall. Let's start off with the offensive line, which I do rank towards the bottom of a league. Still, it's going to be improved. I really think it's going to be improved, and I'm hearing good things about Anthony Bradford right now. Faster, stronger. I always say that. We'll take it with a little bit of grain of salt, a little pinch there, a little dash.
He takes some green onion and he goes bam.
You got Lusagun Oluwatimi at center.
Bam, 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 bam.
You got first round pick Ray Zabel.
Bam, there you have it.
At left guard, the interior. I know I'm going a little out of order here, but you got guards at 30th, center at 31. Watch out for Jalen Sundell. He is a guy with more athleticism, especially with Clint Kubiak. I think he could end up beating out Olusegun Oluwatimi. And then you got your swing guards with Luamea and Hayes. And I'm hearing right now Hayes has not been looking too good. And, man, we need to see him get better. Hopefully he at least gives Bradford a little push, a little maneuver there to be for that right guard position. Tackle-wise, this is where I feel a little bit better, okay? And it's good. They got good tackles, but you got to be able to protect Sam Darnold up the middle because I think that's really where he struggled the most throughout his career is up the middle, especially because a Jets fan, trust me when I say, when Sam Darnold has pressure in his face, oh, he sees Casper a lot. And maybe not the friendly Casper, actually. Any which way, you got Charles Cross, really good left tackle. You get Abraham Lucas, good right tackle. Just injuries have been a big thing with him. However, their swing tackle position does look like it's in a decent spot right now. You got Josh Jones, Mike Jarrell. One guy I do want to mention is Bryce Cabadoo from Kansas, their 6th round selection. He fits that Clint Kubiak style right to the T. And the way he moves and his run blocking, oh yeah, he's right in that league. He needs to work on some technical refinements in the pass game. I have him listed tackle. I think he could end up, I really would be shocked if they didn't let him compete at that right guard position. For me, I think he's probably better at guard at the next level. So let him compete with Hayes, Luamea for a backup spot early on with Bradford or even a starting spot. It wouldn't shock me if he ended up winning the job. I really wouldn't be shocked about that. I think he's got all the talent. I know he's got all the talent there. Certainly the guy to keep an eye out on. So the interior is the biggest question mark on this offensive line, and it's definitely a big one. And who knows who are going to be the starters? Like, I really don't know. Other than Gray Zabel, who knows? On to the receiver position, number 20th in the league. 2-0, there we go. That's a little bit better. Even that's a little bit upside down. But Jackson Smith-Njigba, you got Cooper Kupp newly added, and same thing with Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And look, I know I ranked MVS a little bit low. He was actually really good with the Saints. So, hey, if you get that MVS, then this is a good, solid wide receiving core because you have a little bit of everything. Torrey Horton, a guy you watch out for big time, and I can't say that enough, 12th man. Torrey Horton's a dude that if it weren't for injuries, I think he would have been a 2nd round selection. Yeah, I said it. I think so. Torrey Horton from Colorado State is under the radar. Ricky White, we'll see about him too. Hey, I think he's a guy that could earn playing time this year. Jake Bobo, great blocker. What a great play, in general. I love what he brings, just to the table with his run blocking ability and whatnot. Jackson Smith-Njigba, though, going to be the team number 1. Cooper Kupp, let's see what's left in the tank. I'm sure he's going to be motivated when he sees the Rams twice a year. I'll say that. On to the tight end position. I have a rank at 17th now. This was right before the Noah Fant. I just had to go through and change this real quick. I didn't want to go through and change every single, because I've already done certain teams, of course. So I didn't feel like that was fair to do that. I would say that even though Noah Fant is gone, I still feel confident with Elijah Arroyo that this is a top 20 tight end position this season. I think Arroyo is going to come right in and be a beast early on. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he's a top 15, top 10 tight end this season. So, and plus AJ Barner, I think Barner will take a step this year. Barner flashed, and I think he'll be a good red zone threat and a good blocker. Like, he's just a solid, if nothing else, tight end number 2. So I'm gearing up about this tight end room. I don't think it's a bad tight end room. I don't think maybe it's an elite tight end room yet, but I do think it's a good one. And I think Arroyo could get this tight end room to being an elite group. And hey, why would they let go of Noah Fant, even though he does save like almost $9 million? if they didn't feel confident in Elijah Arroyo. So they've clearly seen something in Arroyo to say, oh, yeah, this is yo, let's go, sort of thing. And then on to the K9 unit and the rest of the Cujos here. This running back room looks really good. You got K9 himself, Michigan State Spartan. Big fan, and I think he is one of the best running backs in the NFL. You got to be a little more consistent, you say, but mainly on the offensive line. Like, that's what I'm talking. Like, they got to get better up front, and I think K9 will be could be a top 5 running back very easily in the NFL. So let's, not waste these guys, man. You got Zach Charbonnet, too, and maybe Damian Martinez emerges as a number 3. Kenny McIntosh, special teams ability as well. So they've got a very good running back room, and ultimately, just they got to be good up front. That's really what it comes down to. I rank them number 7. Top 10 very easily, top 5 possibly, just coming down to some of the offensive line stuff and getting more production there is going to be the big thing for this running back group because it's really good. Quarterback to me, though, is the big question, and I also will refer to the offensive line here with Sam Darnold, and I think that is the key to this football team this season. And what I mean by that is Sam Darnold, as I mentioned earlier, he struggles when he has pressure in his face, and that's when he starts seeing those Casper-friendly ghosts. Boo? You got to protect him, and that's the big thing that I worry about with the Seahawks team and why they were lower on my rankings, and the fact that I'm just not comfortable yet with the offensive line, and hopefully they prove me wrong on that interior. And Gray Zabel, I think, is going to fit right in and be a really good guard, but ultimately you got a couple of pieces where there's just some question marks for me, and Sam Darnold certainly needs a good offensive line to keep him clean. And going to the Minnesota days with him last season, when did he struggle the most? Well, when you take a look at that offensive line, when they had injuries and started to get banged up and starting to allow more pressure, Sam Darnold looked the worst at the end of the season there. So that is definitely a big question for me. Jalen Milroe, of course. Hey, we'll see about Milroe. Row. Let's go, Milroe. I'm excited to see how he develops. And McDonald gets another scrambling Lamar Jackson-style at quarterback for the team. I rank the quarterbacks 22nd. On to the defense side of the ball and the defensive line. It looks scary good. Now, Chinonwosu's starting off the season on the PUP, and that's unfortunate, man. He's been dealing with injuries. A great football player, too. That's just, it's been really problematic. I'm rooting for him, man, because I know he is the guy that he brings it, man. He definitely brings it, and he's also a big-time leader for the football team. Derek Hall, watch out for a breakout this year. I'm telling you, he could be a little bit guy that maybe even outthrows DeMarcus Lawrence, and that's kind of what you want to see, of course, even though DeMarcus Lawrence is still really good, and he's just getting a little bit older and deal with injuries and stuff like that, of course. But Boye Mafe is this team's number 1 edge rusher in my eyes. You got Jared Ivey, who is I think could be certainly somebody late round that they find out. And I mean, I don't know if he's going to be the most dynamic or anything like that, but I think he could be a good all-around 3-down, early down guy that can play a multitude of roles inside and out, especially for this defense. Mike McDonald, I think they're going to play Ivy a lot as like a 5-tech, especially throughout, maybe his rookie season as a rotational pass rusher. Interior defense line looks excellent. I rank him at number 3. It's a top 5 unit very easily. I mean, the big cat over there himself. Why did the Jets let him go? Well, whatever. We got Quentin Williams, but still, just imagine if we would have had Quentin Williams and Big Cat Williams. Oh, man, we would have had the 2 Williams. Oh, but it's okay. We're on to the Seattle Seahawks here. We're talking. You guys got a big-time addition here, and he's been phenomenal, man. He's easily an elite player. Byron Murphy could be an elite player. And you got Jaron Reed, underrated. I feel like he's underrated on this football team. If I had to pick the most underrated football on this team, Jaron Reed would be up there. He was so good last year. I mean, Leonard Williams takes a lot of pressure, so there's that. That's probably one of the reasons why when you see number 9 haul in each week. But Jaron Reed was also very good. They got a very good defense line. They got depth. Who's going to make the roster? Because they are pretty dang deep, man. Mike Morris may end up missing the roster because guys like Riley Mills probably going to make the roster, even though he's going to be injured for a little bit. So maybe Morris makes it early on and then they cut him later down the season. Definitely a lot of possibilities to keep an eye on here with some of these players and how many they end up keeping. Overall, this defensive line looks like a top 15 unit, really charged up, a lot of potential too with some young talent. Linebacker-wise, there's still some things to prove. At least you have your Mike. And that's the big thing. Like going into last season, it was like all over the place. And you saw that early in the season until they got Ernest Jones, what he did for them. You take a look at before Ernest Jones and after Ernest Jones, the run, you could even look at the stats. I guarantee you, I haven't looked at them personally, but just watching the games, I'll tell you right now, I don't need stats to tell me that Ernest Jones, when he was on the football field, their run stopping ability was night and day. At the beginning of the season, I remember they were getting gashed. Ernest Jones came in and he shored that up quickly. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I thought that things were so much better when Ernest Jones was on the football field. And that's not taking away from anything from Tyrese Knight. I thought he played very good, especially as a rookie. And I think he can continue to grow into a starter. I don't see why he can't. I just, yeah, I think that Ernest Jones is going to help out this room immensely. I rank him 28th. It's a little bit conservative in my eyes. But the lack of depth, too, is going to be a big question mark for me. I mean, we'll see about Drake Thomas. I mean, I still, like Josh Ross and everything like that. But ultimately, the room is a little bit thin. And then we go on to the cornerback room. I rank 12th. It's a very good one. It just comes down to which Reek Woolen are we going to see, man? Because Reek Woolen, when Reek Woolen is on his game and he's playing full 100% motor on, man, he's one of the best corners in the NFL. The dude is locked down. He is literally one of the best, the toughest press man corners to have to go against in the NFL. He's just so challenging. And I just want to see more of that, man. And when you talk about the run stopping ability or the tackling being his biggest weakness, really, he's got to just show more effort this year. And hopefully there's going to be a little bit extra chip going into a contract year for Reek Woolen, man. We need to see that. But Witherspoon, there's no concern there with the chip. I'll tell you that right now. That dude will chip you up. But Witherspoon certainly vying to be a top 5 corner after the season. Certainly could get there. And then they brought in Shaquille Griffin. I love bringing him back. I think that was a great re-sign. The veteran can come in here and be that third corner. And you got Nehemiah Pritchett going to be vying to make a roster spot. I think Josh Jobe will be their clear number 4. And then it's going to be competition. I like Cam Alexander. Keep an eye out on him. He was a dude that I felt like was a bit of a sleeper. Coming from UTSA and then transferred over to LSU and whatnot. I didn't watch tons of his last year film, but I watched a lot of him at UTSA, and he was really, really good. I thought his film there was very, very good. Sorry if I'm mixing up colleges there, but I just remember watching Cam Alexander a few years back, and I was super impressed with him. So keep an eye on that dude. I think he could end up making the roster, at least being a good practice squad developmental guy. Finally, the safeties at number 6. It's a great room. I mean, it's unbelievable. You got Julian Love is phenomenal. You got Kobe Bryant, who was phenomenal last year, and then you got Nicky Manwari. Like, yeah, this room just gets even better. They got a second-round pick in Nicky Manwari, who's going to be that perfect Kyle Hamilton-like dude from Mike McDonald. This was literally, like, when we were doing mock drafts, this was the dream fit, and I think you saw probably a ton of Seattle even taking him in the first round, and to be able to get him in the second round, hey, even better, right? So Nicky Manwari with Kobe Bryant and Julian Love, they're going to get all 3. And that's another reason why, like, you could include him in the linebacking room, and you could definitely tell me, look, that linebacking room should be better because Nicky Manwari, putting him next to Ernest Jones, I mean, I'm down with that. I think that'd be fantastic. So you could really sell me on that, saying, you know what, maybe I should move the linebacker ranking up because Nicky Manwari is going to play hybrid role. I think that's very, very real to say. Coaching-wise, I rank him 22nd. Just a little bit of unprovenness here. But I do think, with Clint Kubiak coming in here, he's going to certainly help out this offense. And, they're going to run that wide zone system and everything like that. So, you got Mike McDonald as the head coach going into year number 2. We know the defensive mindset that he brings to the table. Need to see as he does, of course, as that leader position and as the head coach and overall generalization. How will he do for this football team? And then don't forget about Aiden Dirty. They got me riding dirty over here with Aiden Dirty. I don't know, but it is what it is. He'll be going in with this good defense. So I think he's a good defensive mind and whatnot. So I think they're in a good position overall. So that concludes the Seattle Seahawks video here. Got them going 6-11. I know it seems a little bit rough, but the division's tough and just still have questions marks about the offensive line and how will Sam Darnold look with just knowing his weaknesses. Will this roster be able to play to his strengths and weaknesses and stuff? So that's kind of, my biggest question here. Ultimately, I got them going, like I said, 6-11, and we'll see how things go for the 12th man. Let me know what you think. Am I too low? I definitely could see myself being too low. Just kind of where it is, and got to try to make some tough rankings. Hope you guys have a good one, though. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.